What's up YouTube? Welcome to the review of the Mavrick 440. After a long time we have the Hero, and it was quite a task for me to find a Hero motorcycle for a review. And first of all, a big thanks to Yepiyes Motors for providing this motorcycle for a detailed review. So I went to Chamarajnagar to take this motorcycle and come back to Bangalore again. So roughly I have clocked easily 300-400 kilometers by now. On the highway inside the city. And don't get me wrong, I haven't done any off-roads on this motorcycle today. It was raining and it became so dirty today. In fact, I have to say that I have never got this much of an opportunity to live with a Hero motorcycle until now, and I have to say that I started feeling happiness riding this motorcycle. So I'm not telling the verdict now, but I'm telling that I'm actually liking this motorcycle as my own motorcycle. It's like I'm riding it as if I'm owning it. So again, a big thanks to the Yepiyes Motors. So let's get into the review. And I have to say that this motorcycle, the 440 engine, actually was developed by Hero and then given it to Harley Davidson, and Harley Davidson X440 came first. Later Hero actually designed this motorcycle for their own use, so they have to make sure that it doesn't look like the X440, and they have done a brilliant job not to make it look like a Harley Davidson, but it looks like a Yamaha VMAX. I have a feel on that because look at the tang and the position of the headlight. It actually resembles a little bit of the VMAX or the Honda CB300. So Harley is actually looking towards the Japanese side than the American, but look wise it is good. Whenever I ride inside the city, people are actually looking at it, so that means it is distractions. It is indeed a good looking motorcycle. So let's talk about the headlight first. The headlight has good visibility. I'm really happy with the kind of throw it has. By the way, that small light shows the Hero emblem, the H, and the upper portion of the headlight is for the low beam and the lower projected is for the high beam, and it's an automatic headlight. That means when you ride from day to night, the headlights comes by on itself, and it comes with normal suspension, not a USD, but still very comfortable for this motorcycle. And it comes with MRF tires. Unlike my review on the Pulsar 400 where I mentioned that the MRF tires were bad, I'm not meaning the company is making bad tires. I'm just telling that the tire which has been provided for that motorcycle is bad. Like too many people getting me wrong in the comment section. So on this one I'll say that the MRF tire which has been put on this motorcycle is like very good. For the abilities of this motorcycle, this tire is good, and we get disc brake in the front, has got a good feedback. And we have the same X440 engine over here, or the other way, the Hero engine over here, and it comes out in a different exhaust, and that makes a lot of difference. The X440 has a lot of crackles and pops. On this one it is not there. It sounds very tamed, it sounds very confined, and the power delivery is awesome. We'll talk about that when we go for the ride. And there's a little bit of an exposed mid pipe, and there we can see the air and the oil cool system. As mentioned, a beautiful looking tank. A minimum graphics, there is nowhere I don't really see Hero has written HERO, Hero. Otherwise everything is minimal looking. The seats are actually comfortable, spacious, and this is an accessory, the backrest, and that thing is giving a lot of confidence to the pillion rider. That's what I could get to know from my pillion. And this doesn't comes with a monoshock, it comes with 2 springs, but still onto a very comfortable side. And the tail looks minimal. Here has put a signature over there, making sure that also look a little heroish. This is the only place where we see Hero clearly written on the motorcycle. And the accessories on this motorcycle are this crash bars and that backrest, that's all. And when I get on the motorcycle, you see padded foot on both sides, not a tall motorcycle. Mirror has good visibility, but the thing is, post 4000 rpm motorcycle has got a lot of vibration, and this reminds me of those old age classic 350s where it vibrates like hell. So that thing is there. And here we have a USB port, USB charging port, good. And there's a little bit of a raised handlebar towards the rider, gives a very good riding feel. So my arms are completely resting on the handlebar, very nice ride feel. And the foot peg is also a little to the front, so a bit of a cruiser feel, a cruiser riding feel, a cruiser ergonomics from this motorcycle. And to talk about the switches, as mentioned, it's an automatic headlight, so there is no dedicated switch for the headlight. So this is a pass switch and the high beam and the low beam. Here we have the indicator switch and the horn. The switch gear looks a little bit of compromised. I don't really like the quality of the switch gears, but otherwise it's okay. So on this side we have the engine kill switch and the start button, caution lamp switch, and there's an SOS switch on this one. So this can put an eSIM on this one, and it can do a lot of other things. That's where the SOS comes into the picture. So this display actually looks a little smaller, but readable. Everything is there. Bluetooth connectivity is there, so call alerts, message alerts, everything is there. So there's a tachometer, 6000 rpm is the red line, speedometer, 2 trip meter, odometer, distance to empty, currently running mileage, fuel gauge, time, got everything, an updated dash. And this motorcycle actually comes in 3 variants. So the base variant, mid variant and the top end variant. So this one is the top end variant. So the base variant comes with spoke wheels and hence no tubeless tires. So I would say that if you plan to buy this motorcycle, don't go for the base variant, at least buy the mid variant. So the mid variant comes in 2 colors and it comes with alloy wheels, and the top variant actually comes in black color. You can choose for the matte black or the glossy black like this one, and it comes with that embedded letters on the tank. So that's the only difference. Rest everything, the hardware, everything is same between all these models. So that's the general feedback of looking around. So let's hear the exhaust note. Sounds quite interesting. It's not as peppier and as engaging as the X440. I didn't meant to say about the engine, but I was talking about the exhaust sound. Otherwise it's pretty good to hear. So let's go out for a ride. Let's pull it hard. So before that, keep an eye on the mirrors and see how much it vibrates when it goes past that 4000 RPM. So that's how this engine reacts when you open the throttle completely. So let me break it down for you. So this long stroke cruiser type engine is actually set for a very good torquey feel. So the bottom rev range to the mid rev range performance is really good. It pulls really good, and after that actually there's a flat curve. So this motorcycle can go up to a top speed of I think 142 if I'm not wrong. That's the best which I've done, but it depends. Sometimes I'm getting a top speed of 125 to 135 depending on the crosswinds and everything. So the 142 I got when I was on a little bit of downhill and there was no crosswinds. So the punch and everything is there till the 5th gear, and after that the 6th gear actually is set for a cruising speed. So that 0 to 100 is much quicker, and after that it takes time, and it's like a longer gear ratios. You can really see the RPM climbing. So a very good engine for cruising, exactly what you expect out of a cruiser engine. So the positive thing is, if you are riding inside city, you don't really have to shift to the first gear every time when you reach a hump, and every time you go through a pothole. So you can be in the 2nd gear and don't have to feather the clutch. The torque is there, you just open the throttle without any knocking, the engine responds to you. But the flip side is, yes, you have a little bit of a compromised top end. Clear shot cruiser engine. And now let's talk about the rest of the things. So this comes with a normal telescopic suspension, not a USD. Many people were actually complaining for it, but in my opinion I'll say that this don't have an issue. This is actually very comfortable. It's very easy to ride. The motorcycle is actually nimble to use inside city, and also the rear suspension is not monoshock. It comes with twin springs, and that is also very good, exactly set for a comfortable ride. And also, to my surprise, in whatever speeds this can go, the cornering confidence is also really good. That means that the tires on this motorcycle is good, the grip is also good, and the braking is also perfect. I haven't had any trouble using these brakes. I was pretty confident in all the speeds that this can go. And there is a little bit of a heating issue. This is an air and an oil cooled engine, so this has a little bit of heating issue. Even when it was raining, it was giving that warm feel all around the motorcycle, especially to this area. And if I'm riding alone, then there is no ground clearance problem, but if I'm riding with a pillion, there are some places where I was getting a hit, especially on taller humps. Taller humps will definitely hit, otherwise on a medium hump itself, the bottom will be hitting the hump. And it's much easy to take a U-turn, and it's quite easy to ride as well. We have a cruiser kind of a riding feel. If you are a sports motorcyclist, then probably you'll be having a lot of disagreement to the riding posture of this motorcycle, because when I was going to Mysore to pick this motorcycle, I was riding an Apache RTR 310, and that is a little bit of a sporty street fighter. And when I really jumped from that motorcycle to this one, my initial feel was, that's a nice looking car. So my initial feel was the handlebar is too away from me. I'm not getting the right kind of confidence to steer the motorcycle. I was feeling a little dull, but over the time, I think it's been the 10th day, I feel like this is my own motorcycle, and I'm truly happy to ride it in terms of ergonomics, in terms of usability. So if you are a sports motorcyclist, you might take a little more time to get to this kind of a cruiser riding posture, because the foot peg is a little front. And to talk about the clutch feel, the clutch is actually very light and the gearbox is also precise. I really liked it. And as I mentioned, this is the top variant of this motorcycle, and this comes for 2.57 lakhs on road. So it's undoubtedly value for money, because this is one of the most affordable 400cc motorcycles that you can buy. But don't get me wrong, it's not the fastest 400cc in this segment. It's a cruiser kind of a thing, but definitely one of the most comfortable, powerful motorcycle that you can own for this price. And the service cycle is like first service in 500 to 750 kilometers, and after that once in 5,000 kilometers. And the service cost is roughly between 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. And I hope this won't be as expensive as the Harley Davidson X440 for the servicing as well. And the mileage claim is 25 to 30 kilometer per liter, but I was getting something close to 22, 23 because I was riding it hard. That's the reason. So you can expect that kind of a mileage out of it. And let's come to the verdict, whether this motorcycle will suit your needs or not. So I'll say if you are a beginner, then it's not an ideal bike to start with, because it's a bit heavy and it's powerful as well. So better to get an experience on a 150cc motorcycle and get on this one. And if you're already riding a 150cc motorcycle, then I'll say that you're gonna enjoy this motorcycle. It's a very beautiful cruiser for decent speeds on the highway. And if you're someone who is already on an older model of Classic 350 or so, you might be liking this motorcycle, because it is a little refined than the older versions of a Classic 350, but you get the same kind of a throttle feel, the torquey feel with less weight, so you'll be pretty much happy. And the quality is also a little better than the Enfields. So I have to say that I'm really happy riding this motorcycle. So my kind of review is like, I take this motorcycle every day to office, and I'll see myself whether I'm becoming happy or not. And I have to say that I'm pretty much happy with the motorcycle every time I take this motorcycle out. Unknowingly, that kind of happiness comes out of me. Yes, there are a little bit of hiccups on this motorcycle. Just like I said, the switchgear quality is not so good, and I hear it from few owners as well. And there's a kind of a little bit of a cone set issue that I'm feeling. That's all. Otherwise, no really major issues. A big kudos to the Hero team to bring this kind of a furnished product in the first generation itself. Yeah, you might be knowing that I don't really get to ride Hero motorcycles upfront, but really thanks to Yepiyes Motors for providing this motorcycle for an organic review. So that's it. I hope this video is helpful for you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.